So we are going to go over thoracic mobility today. So that is going to be your spine generally there to there, just as a general rule so you get an idea for it. This is really important, especially if you do CrossFit or lifting, especially overhead or front squats. So what happens is when you go into this front squat, if you don't have enough mobility there to keep your back upright, then it's going to dump your chest forward and dump that weight forward in a front squat, and then it gets really necessary, especially with an overhead squat. And then things like if you're a rock climber, again, to be able to look up and belay, you need to have some mobility there so you're not just cranking on your neck a ton the entire time. And then same thing just with route finding, to be able to push your hips forward and lean your chest back just enough to kind of like look around. You need to be able to have enough mobility there. There's a ton of other activities that it's necessary for as well. Even just playing with your kids, like it's going to help take a lot of pressure off your neck and back and other areas if you have mobility there. So the way to test it, to see if you have enough, there's no really great way to test pure extension, so that bending back motion, simply because there's really no position you can get in where it locks out your lumbar spine. But what we can do is look at rotation. And if you have adequate rotation to both sides, then you know you have enough extension mobility to be able to get into those positions well. So the way we test that is you're going to get in a kneeling position and sit all the way back on your heels. If you can't comfortably do that, place a pillow or a foam roller or something to kind of buffer that so you can get back comfortably on it. Knees together, then elbows together, and drop them all the way to your knees, again keeping that contact there. So I'm just going to show with the left side, but you'll do this to both sides. You're going to take the left hand, place it on the low of your back, and then as you do this, make sure this right side doesn't lean and you don't come up off of that heel. So it's going to be really important because otherwise it's just compensating and you're not getting pure motion. So if you need to, you can do it where this side is up against a wall so you know you're not cheating. And then you're going to rotate up towards the ceiling as far as you can, and the angle that your shoulders make is the change. So this is your starting point. Wherever your end point is, you want that to be a decent amount. So we're looking for like 25, 30 degrees. I understand most of you aren't going to really have an idea like what that is. So basically, if you can get your shoulders up enough where you can see the ceiling with the head turn, then you probably have enough mobility without cranking your head. So think of it, like I try to think of it, if I feel like I'm at 45 degrees, then from an outsider's perspective, you probably have enough mobility because we'll feel like we're going a little bit further than we actually are. And then the other thing that's really important is if you have someone else on hand to help you out with this, you can see how far you can actively get on your own, and then you can have someone kind of grab the front of your shoulder. Don't just grab the arm because then it'll just crank on things, but grab kind of like the front of the shoulder, the chest, and help push you. So you then relax and they will guide you further into the range of motion. If you can go a lot further with someone else helping than you can on your own, then you have the available range of motion. Your body just can't access it. So that's what we call a motor control issue. That's a lot easier to clear up than a pure mobility restriction. So I'm going to show a drill for how to do that. And handy enough, it's that exact same thing, just with a band now to help you move through it. So this will retrain your body to actually get into that range of, that available range of motion that you have. So again, I'm going to show just the left side, just so it's a lot easier for you guys to see. So what you're going to do is this band, you want it attached to something pretty heavy so that it's not going to move on you. You're going to put it on like a backpack. So what I mean by that is like, so pretend this is a backpack strap. You reach your arm through, slide that on, and then you're going to turn as if you were going to put the other arm in, but you're not. You're then going to bend back down into that position. Make sure you have enough tension on the band, so if you need to, you can come a little bit further out. And then that exact same position, up. So now the band is helping pull me into that range of motion. And then I'm going to pull back down against resistance, up, and do that several times. You can think like 20 reps or set a timer for a minute and just move through it. Whatever, and until you feel like you have regained a little bit and you can get a little bit further with the band. And then you'll be surprised when you take the band off and retest yourself, you'll get a lot further. The other way you can do it with the exact same band is now I'm going to pull it in front of my chest and slide my arm through so that the band is on the back of my shoulder. I'm going to go ahead and put my hand on the low of my back just so that this doesn't slide off while I get into position. Let this over, yep. And then now I'm going to be pulling open against that resistance, so I'm having to fight the band to get there. Both of those, however you do the band, helps a lot. It just allows it to change up a little bit, and the first way might be a little bit easier earlier on, but it's not a huge deal if you go ahead and jump to the second one.